Hey guys, so the condition that I was looking into was cerebral palsy, and if you don't know, CP is kind of an umbrella term for a bunch of disorders that affect movement, stability, posture, sensation, all sorts of things. But specifically I was looking at spasticity, which is a result of damage to the motor cortex of the brain. Spastic cerebral palsy actually results in hypertonia, which is stiffness of the muscles, and this is very restrictive of the movement of whatever the affected limbs are. And so I was having a think about this and how this would affect definitely those self-maintenance tasks. And I guess the first thing that kind of came to mind was brushing your teeth. It's a task that takes a good 2 to 3 minutes to do, and you have to have your arm elevated, you have to continually move it around, and you also have to have that dexterity in your hand to be able to hold the brush. And so I was thinking about how this would be super difficult for someone with spastic cerebral palsy if they're affected in their upper limbs. So I thought surely there's some kind of assistive technology that has been designed to help with this, and I came across the Y-Brush. Basically, the Y-Brush is a retainer that has bristles on the inside of it, and you simply put it in your mouth like you would a normal retainer, and you press a button which vibrates the AT device, and it brushes your teeth in like 10 seconds. It's meant to be just as effective as brushing for 2 to 3 minutes like you normally would. So I wanted to show you guys quickly how someone would use it and how quick and efficient it is. I just couldn't find a video of someone with cerebral palsy using it, so it is an able-bodied person, but I thought I would just show you guys. So I thought this was a great product for someone with spastic cerebral palsy that still has a little bit of movement in their upper limbs, just because they do have to be able to put the toothpaste on and put the retainer into their mouth. But even if they have barely any movement in their upper limbs, I feel like it would make it a lot easier for the carer to help them either way, just because it saves them having to, get the stick and get all the right spots in there. The Y-Brush kind of does all of that for them. So even if they can't do it completely independently, I feel like it relieves a bit of stress off the carer at least. So I think it's a really great product. Y-Brush is about 200 Australian dollars, which I know sounds quite expensive when you hear it at first, but they recommend you change it about every 6 months at minimum. But when you buy it for the second time, you don't have to buy the whole pack again. So the charger, the stand and everything you already have, you just have to repurchase the actual retainer, which is about $40-ish, I think, to repurchase, which you're doing every 6 months. If you put things into perspective and how much easier it can make the task of brushing your teeth for someone with cerebral palsy, I think it's worth it. The website also recommends that you have 1 to 2 weeks to actually learn the gesture of putting the retainer into your mouth correctly. This might take a little bit longer for some people with cerebral palsy, just to really learn how to use it and be comfortable with it. I guess thinking about some limitations of the product, we do have to take into account the cost is probably a little bit more than you want to be paying for a toothbrush, but hopefully in the future there's going to be some cheaper options. Another thing is that they only have 2 sizes, a small and a medium. I just feel like that's not enough to accommodate for the amount of different individuals that would be using this product. And lastly, I think it's not suitable for everyone with cerebral palsy. It's not going to make the task completely independent for a lot of them, just because you still have to put in the toothpaste into the retainer and you have to get the retainer into your mouth, flip it around, those sorts of things. So it is definitely more suited to someone that has a bit more movement, maybe just a unilateral type of cerebral palsy. But honestly, I feel like this product has so many benefits. I think I want one for myself just so I can cut brushing my teeth in half and know that I've got a good clean. So how quick it is and how efficient it is, I think is one of its good selling points. And I just think it would make mornings a lot easier and help those with cerebral palsy just feel a bit more independent when going about their day. But yeah, I'll chuck in a little resource where you can read more about it if you want to. But yeah, that's the Y-Brush.